How you doing, guys? Dermot from Resync Physio. Okay, topic today is athletes in their 30s. How do you do it? How do you stay going? How do you keep your body in tip-top shape? Now, for a lot of us, we're not going to be professional athletes in our 30s. We're just going to play some club level game, maybe a five-a-side, playing with friends at the weekend, going for a hike, but you want to keep your body in tip-top position. So what we have to do in order to get you to that position is you need to understand the why. So as we start to get older, what's going to happen is that you're going to reduce your muscle size minimally, depending on how much you're going to the gym, but you're also going to reduce your ability to cover. It takes longer for you to recover. Why is that? Metabolism is not as big, metabolism is not going as fast as it should be. Maybe you're not training as often, you have a lot of training years underneath you, and you have a couple of injuries in the past that's going to affect how that one injury. So if you were to separate an ankle injury, but all of a sudden you have a knee pain, or you had a knee injury or hip injury on the opposite side, sometimes it can delay the healing on that sort of one. So what we have to do is the biggest thing for keeping athletes working in their 30s is, yes, you've heard it all before, mobility, flexibility, but a key thing is a warm-up. Don't jump out of the car and go in and play a five-a-side without doing some stretching. And 9 times out of 10, what we'll see people is when they're in the car or when they're working in the office, they'll jump out and they want to go back in training and they get so excited that they don't do a proper warm-up. When you're sitting in an office, when you're driving, when you're on a computer, you're down in this position. All we have to do is open yourself back up into a different position. And a quick way to kind of get you to warm up is put one knee on the ground and lean back. And I will lean back. Now I'll lean to one side, I'll lean to the opposite side. Try and open up that chest as much as you can to try and get those muscles that recruit you into extension to work better. We do need these muscles here, but we don't need them as much as the ones at the back because you're propelling yourself forward. So get a good warm up in. Obviously do your mobility. Figure out what works for you. There's no magic exercise that's going to fix it. It all comes down to personal preference. Yes, there's a lot of studies that work out because this mobility drill will still work. This stretch will work. This strengthening exercises work. But the problem is that it's too generalized because everybody is specific. There's over 600 muscles in the body. Everybody has different experiences when it comes down to injuries. Some have loads of injuries, some don't, and everyone's going to move in a different way. Everyone's going to be tight in a different way. In a generalized sense of the word, you use the evidence in the scientific journals to guide your treatment, not dictate it. So yes, we'll take into account what ones work well, but we have to look at people as an individual and how their system is working. Not every system is working. Same as any other company. Some companies work differently, some work in very, very weird ways, but it works for them, and some work in very, very unique ways and it works for them as well. So it just depends on what your body and what your system is going to be working at. So get your rest, get to sleep, get 8 or 9 hours sleep, especially if you're playing high level sport. If you're 30, 32, 34 years old, you're playing maybe not inter-county, but you're playing senior football, or you're playing intermediate football, or you want to continue to play that, the biggest factor when it comes down to injury and fatigue is sleep. If you're not getting your 8 or 9 hours, it's going to be harder. Yes, difficult when you have 3 or 4 kids and stuff like that, but when you're the week of a match and you need to get to sleep, just try to get to bed that hour early, and then that should help. So other things that you want to do is sleep, mobility, flexibility, and getting a good warm-up. If I was to pick 2 of them, sleep and the warm-up. And don't throw everything at don't throw the kitchen sink at it in the first week. Just try and get right. Let's get in 15 minutes before training or 15 minutes before the match. Do your warm-up, do your stretches, do your mobility. Take your time to go through it, have to chat with some of the lads. Try to get to bed a little bit earlier. And then once you get those 2 down, then you can start to mix and match between your mobility and your flexibility. But getting into a routine is the key thing. Once you get into a routine, you can pretty much solve anything. So yeah, protect the bones, protect the joints, get mobile, keep moving, but do your warm-ups and your body should stay right.